You are listening to Claret and Blue, an Aston Villa podcast brought to you by Birmingham Live.
Hello and welcome back to the Claret and Blue podcast. Aston Villa have just lost 2-0 to Liverpool at Anfield, a result that probably all thought we were going to lose today, but it's weird that I don't feel that disappointed by what I've seen today. Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, it's I do.
I mean, we've lost and that's rubbish, but I thought we were going to lose 5 or 6-0 and that hasn't happened, and we've looked okay in parts.
Yeah, it's another game off. You know, we've got 5 games left now to try and beat Watford's results and beat Bournemouth's results. It looks like West Ham and Brighton have sailed over the horizon now. I get your point that, yeah, we feared Villa were going to lose 7-0 and the goal difference is going to take another battering and cancel out all those goals that Bournemouth have conceded in recent weeks. But you don't get you don't get any plucky points, do you? Do you know what I mean? No. I don't know, but I've just listened to Dean Smith's post-match interview saying that kind of Villa looked a little bit more solid post-lockdown, and he feels that Villa deserved more points than they've actually got, which probably could argue that they did deserve another point. They probably deserved a point today, given that they've tried to go toe-to-toe with the champions for long periods of the game. But other than that, is there any other games where they've really deserved more?
I was going to say that because I saw the same quote on Twitter that something like the performances have warranted more points than we've actually got. I'm not sure. It's 2 out of 15, isn't it? Points, I think.
Didn't deserve any more against Chelsea, I don't think. Didn't deserve any more against Sheffield United, and we're very lucky not to have lost the game, thanks to a bit of Hawkeye controversy. Newcastle, yeah. I thought, on a balance, I thought Villa were half decent at Newcastle, but equally I thought a draw was fair. Wolves, I don't think Villa deserve more out of Wolves, so you could say they could be a point better off, and that would put them level on points with Watford. And then it would be in Villa's own hands. But I don't think I think it was a really, really encouraging performance. But even when Villa defend solidly, they concede 2 goals. And I know they're conceding goals to the champions. And I know Liverpool's kind of bench is like, kind of having a couple of cheat modes in whatever computer games you youngsters play nowadays. But it's empty-handed again, isn't it?
70 minutes in or something, we're looking at bringing on Vasilev and Jota, and they can bring on Jordan Henderson and Firmino, and somebody else came on, I can't even remember who it was. And I know that's the difference between a side that have won the Champions League and won the Premier League and us that are loitering around 19th or 18th or whatever it is. Kind
of when Vasilev comes on, I'm getting people colleagues on my WhatsApp saying, can we republish that story about who is Indiana Vasilev for all the Sky viewers who don't? I can't imagine that our friends at the Liverpool Echo again. Can we republish that who is Firmino? can we put that one back out just in case people haven't heard of him? And it is that, but it's a tale as old as time, isn't it? Kind of better, bigger, more successful clubs have stronger substitute benches, no matter whether you can use 5 of them or 3 of them or however many. It's Villa having kind of really kind of dug in deep. And I do think Dean Smith was right about his game plan worked to a point. It didn't work completely because they lost the game. But it's having given yourself that platform to then, and it's good players, isn't it? Like Alexander-Arnold zipped that ball in and all of a sudden it's moved quickly around the box, and Neil Taylor, I thought was decent today. Neil Taylor's been caught kind of momentarily sleeping, and Mane snuck in, and it's game over then, isn't it? Because Villa aren't going to score the 1, let alone 2 to go and win it. And there's just that kind of that big exasperated kind of sigh again, isn't there? Of kind of, even when we play well, we're going home with nothing again. The frustrating thing is that it's Manchester United next to a kind of winning games for fun. But the frustrating thing is, that Villa probably won't maintain the performance level from a 2-0 defeat into the next game and the next game. So yeah, it's you probably wanted to have the title of this podcast of positives that we can take, and then you've got me kind of coming out like a mardy arse Graham Souness wannabe. So should we get on to him?
I mean, we need to introduce some kind of segment in the podcast at this point, kind of poor pundits or something that we do every week, because we had the Glenn Hoddle thing against Wolves. Graham Souness today, even before the game kicked off, he's moaning about Jack Grealish, saying that he's only him being the most fouled player isn't kind of a positive on his career, that he's targeted and people are trying to stop him, and that's the only way, the way that most people will look at it. His point of view is that, he must hold on to the ball for too long, or that he can't see the game well enough to make that pass, and then inevitably gets fouled, and it's just, Graham, mate, have a day off, will you?
Well, listen, far be it from me to challenge a highly decorated kind of mardy-arsed Scottish hardman pundit, but point number one, does he hold on to the ball too long? Because if he's been fouled, that suggests that he's actually moved the ball. If he's tackled and dispossessed fairly, that is holding on to the ball too long. But if you've moved the ball out of your feet and somebody chops you down, that's not holding the ball onto it too long. That's beating that player, isn't it?
Yeah,
and the second point is that, listen, if Grealish, and we don't want to test this theory, but we know we might have to, if Grealish is playing in a team with, I don't know, Rashford, or he's playing a team with De Bruyne, or he's playing in a team with Salah, or wherever the kind of the big kind of northwestern powerhouses that he ends up, he probably is going to be more inclined to move the ball quicker and have more give and goes. But if your options are, with respect, I'm going to square it to Trezeguet, who's standing like a statue to one side of me, or I'm going to square it to Neil Taylor, who's standing like a statue to the other side of me. Of course he's going to want to advance the ball further forward, even if he knows that he's not going to be able to slide in a through ball pass to Keenan Davis, because A, Keenan Davis won't be able to make the run, or B, he's going to get chopped off his feet. I don't remember, and somebody probably can pick me up on this, but when Grealish was playing in a better Aston Villa team in 2015, and listen, he dined out on this performance long enough, but in the semi-final against Liverpool, and he has got Fabian Delph and Cleverley and Benteke and whoever it was around him at the time, I don't think he was the most fouled player then. I think he was moving the ball quicker, but you play in the circumstances that you've got. And I just think Graham Souness is what he's looking at that game in a very one-eyed way. He's looking at it in a one-eyed way because he's a Liverpool man, and he's looking at it in a one-eyed man way because he was somebody who liked to go crunching into tackles. You've got to acknowledge the bigger picture with Jack Grealish, and if you're going to dig out, I don't think Jack Grealish played particularly well today, and I think his impact has been limited since Villa came back from lockdown. But equally, I know it's a sexy thing for the pundits and for the hosts of the show to talk about Jack Grealish, but let's have a look at the wider situation, why Jack Grealish doesn't feel confident enough to move that ball around quicker.
His options aren't there. There's no one to pass to a lot of the time, or he doesn't trust them, or the quality of the player isn't. If you're, like you said, if him releasing the ball and passing it to Trezeguet means that we're going to lose possession, he's going to hold on to it, isn't he, and try and win a foul. But I think the frustrating flip side to that is when we do get these free kicks and the 150 or whatever it is that Grealish has been fouled for in the Premier League this season, how many of those set pieces have we profited off? Off the top of your head, have we scored many off set pieces?
Don't get me on my darts analogy again, for God's sake.
Well, yeah, every time, I know we talked about this and it's pretty much a repeat of every episode since lockdown so far. If that is kind of almost a tactic that we'll get Grealish the ball, get him in a half decent position, he'll win some kind of foul, and we'll reset from there and aim from a set piece. You'd think that our set pieces would be kind of Stoke City circa 2008, and really kind of we'll only play for set pieces and just be good at that. But the fact that we're not even good at set pieces either makes you kind of think, well, what's the point of Jack being fouled so often? Because we don't do anything with the free kick anyway.
No, you're right. If as we think Villa's best chance of scoring a goal is from a set piece, and Villa are so terrible at taking set pieces, we shouldn't be massively surprised that we're still sitting below that dotted line at the moment. The other thing I just wanted to say on Souness and Grealish before I do finally let it go is, what is he saying? Is he saying that Jack Grealish can't spot a pass? Because Jack Grealish is clearly got the best vision, and he's able to kind of not just spot the pass but deliver the weight of pass better than anybody in that Villa team, and better than a lot of his contemporaries and peers in the Premier League. So just shut up, Graham.
like we said at the start, it's again kind of the saving grace is that we all thought we'd be battered and we haven't, and everyone else around the bottom beside West Ham didn't pick up any points this week either. So again, as much as it's a kind of a very, very rubbish thing to hold on to, there's been no stage yet when we could have been 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 points off even getting out of the bottom 3. We fortunately haven't got to that stage yet. The only thing that we're losing is games and time. I think the next round of fixtures with us playing Man United on Wednesday or Thursday, and Norwich have got Watford. We really need Norwich to do us a favour there and get something against Watford, because I think that's probably the game week where we'll see things flip, that if Watford get something, it's probably unlikely we're going to get anything against Man United. As much as I don't want to be defeatist before the game even comes round, that'll be the time when we finally look at it and go, okay, we're starting to slip down now, and we've not been so lucky that everyone else is losing.
I think it's interesting the way that the relegation's shaping up, because you'd probably expect it, because the teams that are down there for a reason, because they've not been winning many football matches. But it is, isn't it? It's that battle of who can be the least. You have to bleep me here. Who can be the least? Do you know what I mean? That's what it's become, and it's, I don't know. It's kind of, I don't know. It's trying to pick the best team out of Villa, Bournemouth and Watford now. It's like trying to choose your favourite Eurovision record, isn't it? You know, it's really, really, really terrible, really, really terrible choice.
Well, West Ham is the interesting one, because they've not been great all season, and they're on 31 points now. But they're 3 of their remaining 5 are Watford, Norwich and Villa. So, I mean, they're on 31 anyway, so I think they'll be fine. And there's 3, they'll target those 3 games as being absolutely winnable. So I think, you've got Watford, Villa and Bournemouth, and 2 of those 3 are going down. It's
got to the stage now where you hope West Ham are going to be clear of it, so that they don't care about it on the last day. Whereas before we're thinking it was going to be a shootout with West Ham for us to stay up, you're thinking, well, if they can win those games...
You want them to beat Watford, and then you hopefully want Villa to get something against West Ham as well. And then that, if you've matched the results in every other game week, would be enough to keep you up.
Well, I think, again, we've done kind of podcasts where we've tried to clutch for some positives, and there were positives in the performance today, but I think the biggest positive is that it's 5 games left and Villa are only 1 point adrift. So the fact of the matter is... the way they've been going, they will have to hope that they draw one of the final 5 games that gets them level, and everybody else gets battered in the other games. I mean, listen, what's the fixture list looking like, Dan? We've got Man United.
Do you want to read ours, or
yeah,
do you want to read ours? Okay, so we've got Man United on Thursday, Crystal Palace on the Sunday, Everton, Arsenal, and then West Ham. So you're looking at Palace and West Ham, aren't you, getting points there? And if that's 6 points there, that takes you to 33, and I think that would be enough.
Yeah, I think it's just because we've forgotten how to win. Anyway,
Forgotten how to score. Can we score some goals?
Yeah, well, that was the one today, wasn't it? Really, and they created a couple of bits and pieces. I'd probably describe it as, but you're not really working the goalkeeper hard enough, and It surprised me that he went with El Ghazi and Trezeguet again today. I think El Ghazi had a couple of half sniffs, didn't he? But I don't think you can carry both of them.
It also affects your changes later in the game, doesn't it? Because you normally look at bringing one of those off for the other as one of your changes at some point. But whereas when you look to make your changes around 70 minutes, you're looking at your bench thinking there's just nothing there on our bench. The first 11 isn't brilliant, is it, for Villa? Let's be honest. But the bench is championship standard, isn't it? Really.
Listen, without being too doom and gloom, what's your gut feeling now? Do you think we're going to go?
I don't know. I really want to come on here and be very kind of gung ho and optimistic and say, yeah, we're going to do it. And I know that will rile some people up, because it's very easy to look at it and think, oh well, we're dead and buried. But I think if we were in slightly worse off points wise, or we were in Norwich's position, for example, I'll be sat here going, no, that's it. We need to win 4 out of 5, and we're not going to do that. Whereas with Villa, we don't need to win that many. I think you probably need to win maybe 2 of 5, which at this point sounds like a lot because we've not been able to do it all season. But strange things happen, don't they? I think we've said before, Villa will have to pull it out of the bag at some point if they want to stay up, and that's kind of in our hands. That if you win 2 of 5, or if you can somehow squeeze a draw in there as well, that will probably be enough now at this stage to get you to 33 points, which is a rubbish target, and the standard of the league is so poor. But we're just kind of lucky that Bournemouth, and especially since the restart, Bournemouth and Watford have been poor as well. I think we'll stay up, but just about.
I don't know what you're basing it on.
I don't want to write it off yet. We've got 5 more games and 5 more podcasts and 5 more weeks of work to do around this season yet. I don't want to kind of just sit here and go, oh, well,
yeah, don't kill the audience opportunities. Oh, well, I admire your professionalism.
But you've got to stick with it until it's done, haven't you? Even if it comes down to the last day, and if you have to win or you're going down, you still have to believe that will be the game where you do it. There's no point kind of looking ahead now with 5 games and 15 points remaining and just going, oh, well, we're 1 point away from safety, that's it. Oh, I'm resigned to going down. Obviously, yeah, you've got to kind of prepare yourself for the worst. And if it does happen, you can kind of think, well, I've seen it coming for a couple of months now, so I'm not kind of too disappointed. But when there's still a chance, you've got to believe, haven't you?
Well, here's a question for you. When was the last time Villa scored twice in a game? Would that have been the Watford game?
Didn't we score 2 against Tottenham but still lose?
And I'm not just saying this, to pile on the misery again, but Villa need to score 2 goals to win a game. I don't think they're going to win a game 1-0. I really don't. So what prospect of Villa, what combination are they going to have to play? What's going to have to change to get them to score 2 goals against whoever, any of those last 5 games?
So what do you think then? What's your gut feeling? Are you saying that we're gone then?
I mean, I think Villa can count themselves fortunate that I say nobody, to be fair to them, West Ham and Brighton have found a little bit of winning form, but people always say, we can only look after ourselves, I don't want to look at other results. We'd be down, wouldn't we? If Bournemouth hadn't returned so spectacularly bad, and Watford hadn't returned in such a flaky way, Villa would be down. So maybe that's the thing that we take out of it. They've got to take that as a springboard and say, one of these 3 teams must save themselves. Why can't it be us?
I'm just looking at the other fixtures. As much as I'm saying that Villa have not won in however many it is, I'm looking at Bournemouth now, and their running is Tottenham, Leicester, Man City, Southampton and Everton. I don't see them getting many points there, to be honest. Watford have got Norwich on Tuesday, then Newcastle, and then West Ham, Man City and Arsenal. So kind of similar to Villa's running.
That's a big one, isn't it, now? Norwich versus Watford's a big one.
Norwich aren't going to keep themselves up now, so you want Norwich to win there, you want Newcastle to beat them as well, and then you want West Ham to get something, and then you'd expect they'll get nothing against Man City and Arsenal for the last 2. So by the time the last 2 games come around, Watford might already know their fate, because it's unlikely they're going to get anything against Man City and Arsenal, isn't it? Whereas Villa have got Everton and West Ham to kind of redeem themselves. So if Watford have won one of those 3 before the final 2, it's very much squeaky bum time. But if Norwich and Newcastle both beat them, those last couple of games then do look very difficult for Watford. And if Villa have snuck something against a Crystal Palace or even an Arsenal, maybe we'd be looking at it and we're a couple of points safe.
I think you're getting a bit ahead of yourself. I think
of course.
I think the next game, I think if Watford beat Norwich and Villa start against Man City, if we're four points adrift by the time we even kick off against Man United, that's quite a grim situation to be in, I think.
Maybe we beat Man United. Maybe that's the freak result we keep talking about.
It's not beyond the realms of possibility, is it? You just got to score more goals than the opposition. I mean, like Dean Smith said today, what are you aiming for today? To concede none and to score 1?
Yeah, exactly. It's a simple game, isn't it?
It'd be nice, wouldn't it? I'm kind of... I need to go away. I've had enough. All is not lost because it's just that 1 point difference. But who would you find if you could play any of those teams next? Who would you probably want to play next? You probably want to play Palace, would you?
Yeah, probably. Or maybe West Ham. Get that out of the way.
At the moment, teams around Villa are losing without Villa putting any pressure on them. It would be nice for Villa to put pressure on them. Nobody's profiting, are they? It's kind of it's like the kind of it's like the hare and the tortoise, but there's no hares involved, is there? It's just the kind of tortoise race, isn't it? Nobody actually wants to go and try and cross that line. They just want to kind of stay in a box and chew a bit of lettuce. It's just so I don't know. Please, can we finish this?
I think we've said, like, if we were just slightly less rubbish, we'd be absolutely fine now. 2 more wins over the course of the entire season. We'd already be on 33 now. And you'd be looking at it like you were looking at Brighton and thinking, oh, well, they're probably okay. Bournemouth took 6 points off us. How's that happened?
Yeah, that's grim. That's grim. Let's look at it this way, and it's another Kendrick crap analogy, but you'd rather be on the life support machine, even if you're in danger of flatlining, with a bit of hope, wouldn't you, than starting the grieving process now. You know, that grieving process can start in 3 weeks' time if it needs to. Let's see what they're about. You know, let's see what Dean Smith and John Terry and Richard O'Kelly are about. Let's see what Jack Grealish and John McGinn and Tyrone Mings are about. Let's see what Anwar El Ghazi and Trezeguet are about. You know, let's see how hungry Keenan Davis is to be the one who scores that important goal. Do you know what I mean? This is kind of make or break time now, kind of do or die time. And we've got to the final 5 games of the season where we're still in with one hell of a chance. We know we've got to be better. We know something massive has got to change, whether that's kind of the performance levels going, you know, the performance levels were all fairly solid today, whether that's generally the performance levels going from 6s to 8s every week, whether that's the manager kind of, you know, remembering this kind of brand of expansive football that he had at Brentford, you know, throwing caution to the wind because victories are only going to be the only thing. Something's got to change. Some positive thing has got to change. Might just be a kind of big dollop of luck with the ball bouncing off somebody's backside. Yeah. But we're still in with a chance. 5 games left, you know. And I tweeted during the game, you know, my son out of the blue delivered me a cup of tea to my lap during the game. So
he wants something.
Anything can happen is what I'm saying. Absolutely anything. If that can happen, anything can happen. So although I've kind of been like a kind of broken doom and gloom record, we're still in with a chance. So let's just kind of roll with the punches and see what the next couple of weeks bring.
I think we end it there, to be honest.
I think we do, mate. That's as positive as I'm going to get. So just cut it now.
Thank you for listening to Claret and Blue, an Aston Villa podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, then please let us know. We love hearing your feedback. We'll be back soon with another episode. Until then, up the Villa.